Hi guys, 18 Dapper here and welcome to the final video of the 2021-22 season. This is where I review Doncaster Rovers season and I also react to my pre-season predictions. Let's get this video started. So guys, welcome to the 2021-22 season review and my reaction to my pre-season predictions. Before we start the video, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody who continued to support the channel, everybody that's supported me in the past and mainly throughout this year through subscribing, commenting, sharing and all of that jazz. At the time of recording we are at 2,583 subscribers, so once again, a big thank you for your support and hopefully I bring some decent content in League 2 next year and hopefully see that increase, break 3,000. That would be very, very nice and the channel's organically growing as I'd like it to. So big thank you, hopefully continue to provide you guys with some entertainment next season and hopefully something to cheer about for us Rovers fans. But in this video we're going to have a look at my season expectations at the start of the season and then the season reality. Everybody knows already it's been a very poor season, but we'll quickly cover that. I'll go through a couple of key players from the past season and this is just my opinion, so please in the comments down below let me know what you think about the key players for Doncaster Rovers this season. I choose my goal of the season, there wasn't too many to choose from, and then probably what you're all here for, I react to my pre-season predictions for the League 1 table. So without further ado, into season expectations. And at the start of this season there was a little bit of optimism from myself, looking forward to a good season, but a middle of the table kind of season. That was my expectation. Richie Wellens at the helm, building a new squad, getting a new style of play. I think any Rovers fan was kind of expecting consolidation this season. Not a great squad, but a good enough squad to stay up was my initial thought. I thought it'd take a little bit of time to gel, a little bit of time just to kind of get that new style of play in, working under Richie Wellens. A lot of players brought in, so there's always going to be a bedding in period in that, and it didn't start too well, did it? And it continued from the season before under Andy Butler, but yeah, I thought it was going to turn a corner. I thought once Richie had his feet under the table would be a team to not so much be feared, but kind of a bit of a menace of a team in League 1. And yeah, as I say, solid mid-table finish was my expectation at the start of the season. But as we all know, the season reality was much, much different than that. Horrendous from start to finish. There's no other word for it. Very, very poor from top to bottom in the club, and I have been critical of everything within the club on a footballing point of view. I've been both critical on social media about it, I've been critical to the people involved in the club as well, and I'll say exactly what I think on camera. From a footballing point of view, I do think from the board down through the playing staff, through the management team, it has not been good enough for some time, and I'm hoping that the things that they're putting in place now, with Cops being the head of football operations and getting the backroom staff in situ before the season, I'm hoping this is going to put the footballing side back where it should be, and in my opinion that is top end League 1, fighting to get back into the Championship. I think that's the ambition that we should be showing as a football club, but as I've always said, I think what the board do and what the club do, all the staff within the club, I think they do excellent work off of the field. So I think we've just got to try and get that off the field stuff which they do so well, and on the field stuff, working together on the field has just not been working at the minute. Hopefully having somebody with football brain, football focus in Cops, and I think Cops knows Doncaster Rovers, knows the fans. I can't think of a better appointment, to be honest, in terms of somebody who can drive this club back in the right direction on a footballing front. So hopefully the learning from the mistakes we will see over this summer and going into next season, but we're talking about 21-22, and it was horrendous from top to bottom. Poor recruitment. There was no contingency. We knew about the injuries. We didn't expect them to be as long as what they were, but still, I think you need that contingency there, and our backup players just weren't of the quality or experience that we needed to actually put up a fight, unfortunately. Richie was unable to halt the poor form from the season before. I'm not pinning that on Andy Butler. I don't think that was his fault at all. But unfortunately, that mentality and that feeling around the club spilled into 21-22. Richie couldn't turn it around, and unfortunately, he got the sack. Think of that what you will. But then Gary McSheffrey put in charge. Question marks over him when he got put in charge. I think we needed some experience to get us out of the hole that we were in. But Gillingham brought in Harris, bags of experience, and they went down with us. Arguably put up a bit of a better fight, maybe in a better position to bounce straight back. But for me, opportunity for Gary McSheffrey to show what he's all about, and if he does have the ability to lead us on the right path, and hopefully the stuff put into place off of the field will help him as well. So very poor season. I'm glad to see the back of it. Key players for me this season, we will start with Tommy Rowe. As I say, not many key players playing a part in, or a positive part in our season, but Tommy Rowe for me is one of them. I think he can hold his head up high for the season that he's had. He's consistent, and for me, he just tried to pull the other players through and probably had to do a bit too much work, which is why we didn't see the very best of him. I want to see him playing further up the field, though. I don't like to see him at left back, but for me, in a very poor season, Tommy Rowe is my player of the season with a 7 out of 10. Another player that I think can hold his head high is Joseph Olowu. Didn't expect to be playing as much as what he did, thrown in a bit at the deep end due to injuries, and for me, shows a desire to play. I think he's got a connection with the fans, which I love to see. And yeah, he's got an error in him, but I think for an inexperienced centre back, with a bit of experience alongside him, I think he could be a very, very good player for us in the next season or so. So for me, one of the most improved players would be Joe Olowu this season, but I've given him a 6.5 out of 10. Moving on to the next player, I've gone with Matt Smith, one of the loanees, and for me, Matt Smith, fairly consistent throughout the season in the middle of the field, in the middle of the park. Effort level was up there with anybody in the squad, and can't be questioned for me. But lacking that threat in front of goal, didn't score many this season, didn't create too much either. But I think that energy just really helped us in the middle of the park on some games, especially when you had Clayton and Bostock in there towards the latter end of the season. So a very good player. I think just needs a bit more creativity around him, and could be a decent signing for somebody in League One next season. I've given Matt Smith a 6.5 along with Joe Olowu. And then the final key player for me towards the end of the season was Josh Martin on loan from Norwich City. And for me, one of the few bright sparks throughout the season. Enjoyed watching him play. He kind of got you on the edge of your seat when he had the ball, and he added that bit of forward drive in games that we were missing so much at the start of the season. But for me, there was a little frustration with Josh that probably holds on to it a little bit too long before bringing other players into play. Tries to beat his man one or two times when he could whip a ball in, or get a shot off or whatever. So hopefully he can add that into his game and improve on that, and hopefully rumours that he's coming back, but I'll believe it when he's got a scarf or a shirt. For me, 6.5 out of 10 for Josh as well. Moving on to the goal of the season, as I said at the start of the video, not many to choose from this season. If I were choosing a goal against, I'd have much more to choose from. But for me, the goal of the season I'm going for is Ethan Galbraith's against Cambridge on the 26th of October 2021. Decent bit of football leading up to it. And then he's got the shot off from 20-25 yards out. He's got some power behind it as well. Hit the post and gone in. And it was a small small joy in a very poor season. I will link the highlights to that video in the description down below, so go and check that goal out. It is a bit of a beauty. So goal of the season for me, Ethan Galbraith against Cambridge. So moving on to my reaction to my pre-season predictions. If you've not seen that video, I'll link it in the top corner of the screen. But I went through the League One table and just put every team where I thought they would finish this season, and I didn't do too well, to be fair. Let's have a look at the bottom of the table. So the bottom of the table as it stood at the end of the season: Crewe finishing bottom, AFC Wimbledon in 23rd, Doncaster Rovers in 22nd and Gillingham in 21st. So they're the four teams playing League 2 football next season. And as you can see, my predictions for them were 21st, 22nd, so I wasn't too far away with Crewe and Wimbledon. I had them as two relegated teams. But for Donny and Gillingham, I had them both 10 positions higher than what they finished in 11th and 12th. So with this, as I've done in previous seasons, I'll allocate the difference as a point, and the aim is every season to get as fewer points as possible, but that's a poor start already on 24 points. Not good. Going through 20th to 13th, so the table finished with Fleetwood in 20th, then Morecambe, Shrewsbury, Lincoln City, Burton Albion, Cheltenham, Cambridge and Charlton. And my predictions for those, spot on with Fleetwood, predicted 20th to finish 20th, so that's a very good, no points added to the total there. Morecambe, I had them going down, and Cole Stockton for me kept them up. I had them in 23rd, finished in 19th. Shrewsbury, not too far away with that prediction, had them down as 16th and they finished two below in 18th. Lincoln, I had them down as having a bit of a better season than what they did have. I had them down at 13th. Appleton leaving could potentially impact them next season as well. We'll have to keep an eye on that one. So 13th, finished in 17th. Burton, literally swapping places with Shrewsbury. I had them down in 18th. They finished in 16th, so only two away with that. Cheltenham, I had as a struggling team just coming up from League 2. I put them down as surviving, but only just in 19th, so very good season for them. Cracking season for Alfie May. So they finished 4 places above where I predicted them. Cambridge did far better than what I predicted them. I had them down as rock bottom. They finished 10 places higher in 14th. And then Charlton, bit of a stinker on this one. I had them down as automatic contenders in second, and they finished 11 places below. So bottom half of the table, not done too well. Moving on to the top half of the table, from 12th to 7th, it finished Accrington Stanley, Ipswich Town, Portsmouth, Bolton, Oxford United, Plymouth, Argyle, and again, not too far away on some, but miles away on others. Accrington Stanley had them down in 14th on my prediction, so 2 places higher. I'm quite happy with around 2 to 4 places out with teams in League One for sure. Another stinker though, I had Ipswich, a bit like Charlton, contenders for automatic. I had them down as title contenders, put them down in first. They finished 10 places below. I think Ipswich want to watch next season. I think it just took them too long for that new team to gel, and then they were playing catch up throughout the season. But yeah, 10 places below where I predicted them to finish. Not too far off with Pompey. I had them down in 9th, 1 place higher than what they finished in 10th. Bolton, a very good season. I thought that they'd be consolidating in League One after coming up from League Two, but they've pushed on very, very well. Finished in 9th, 8 places above the predicted 17th that I had them. Oxford, always up there in the playoffs. I thought they'd be there again. I had them down in 3rd, but they missed out. So a bit of a disappointing season for Oxford, in my opinion, and one they'll want to rectify next, I think. Plymouth, I had them down as having a poorer season than what they had. They were the pace setters for quite a bit of it, but tailed off towards the back end of the season. I had them down in 15th, and they finished 8 places higher in 7th. Moving on to the playoffs, so playoff final hasn't been played when I'm recording this yet, so good luck to Wycombe and Sunderland, but the table finished with Wycombe, Sunderland, Sheffield Wednesday and MK Dons, and I got 2 out of 4 of the playoffs correct in Sunderland and Wycombe. Didn't get them in the right places though. Wycombe I had predicted as 4th, so they finished 2 places lower. Sunderland I had them predicted in 6th, but they finished a place higher, so well done to them. Sheffield Wednesday I thought coming down with money worries off of the field and things, I thought the consolidation in League One, I had them down as 10th, but a good season for them under Darren Moore. Finished in 4th, unlucky not to go through to the final of the League One playoffs. Didn't really perform over the 2 legs, so they'll be looking to push on next season and push for the top 2, I'm sure. And MK Dons, I had them as missing out just on playoffs, but they had a fantastic season, finishing 4 places higher in 3rd, and narrowly missing out on automatics as well, so not too far off with the playoff predictions at the start of the season. And finally, my top 2, I went with neither. We've already had Ipswich and Charlton who were my top 2, but it finished with Rotherham in 2nd and Wigan in 1st as champions. So congratulations Wigan for becoming champions of League One this season. For my predictions though, I had Rotherham in 8th, missing out on playoffs, so they've completely overachieved my expectations for them, finishing 6 places higher. And then Wigan, I had them in 5th, fighting it out in the playoffs, so they'll be glad that my prediction didn't come true because they won the championship. So once again, big congratulations to Wigan, and I've not done too bad, I don't think. There's some stinkers in there. There's some where I've got 10 and 11 places out, but generally around 4 places out, so I don't think I've done too bad. But we will have a look at the results. So as I said, what I'll do is the number of positions out, add it all together. I get a full tally of the points received over the season. So let's look back at the last couple of seasons since I've been doing this. 2018-19 I got 140 points, didn't do too well there. But 2019-20 I had a decent season, getting 100 points, and then 2020-21 season I got 138 points. So I got worse. Got better one season, got worse. The aim is to kind of get into double figures. That would be nice. So having a drill down into this season, I got 1 correct prediction in Fleetwood, finishing 20th. Between 1 and 4 positions out, 13 out of the 24 teams, so just over half, which leaves 10 out of 24 with over 5 out, which is not where we want to be. You want to be as close to the position as possible. So adding that up, 118 points this season, so not too bad. I will take that. So next season, need to get it sorted. We're going to try and predict League 2, a league that I've not really looked at for some time, so I'm going to have to start doing a bit of research and hopefully break that 100-point mark and get down into double figures. But just before we finish the video off, if you watch the previews, you will know that we've done a Family Predictions League. That'll continue next season. We've got a little trophy that we play for, and the table finished like this. Dad finished champion on 30 points. I finished 2nd on 25. Max, last year's winner, finished 3rd on 21, with Chris just behind on 20. So Chris gets a wooden spoon, but my dad, very happy receiving his trophy from Max. So that's currently on a shelf at my mum and dad's, and we'll be playing for that next season. So that brings me to the end of this video. I hope you've stuck around and watched it to the end. If you have, thank you very much. If you've enjoyed it, please stick a big thumbs up on it for us, please. Comments in the section down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Lots of League 2 content coming next season. Live streams on a Sunday where we'll look at Championship, League 1 and League 2. Match previews, match day vlogs, plenty of other stuff planned as well. Hopefully it all comes off. So yeah, if you enjoyed it, big thumbs up, comments in the section down below, subscribe if you haven't already. As always, thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one.